Want to eat better, but you're also usually short on time? Don't worry, I've got you. Hello my dear friends, Raisa here from the Nutrinut. For today's video, I want to share with you a recipe that is delicious, incredibly nourishing, and that you can make in 5 minutes. Because we all need those easy go-tos when we don't have much time or don't feel very kitchen inspired. That's why I'm a huge fan of sharing simple and quick recipes. Elaborate dishes can be great, but it's also not practical to do every day in the long run. To be able to cook more, it has to be done in a way that works for you. Are you super into eating in a delicious, simple, and sustainable way? Then make sure to subscribe to the Nutrinut YouTube to not miss a single video. And now, let's get down to business. The base for this recipe is the quinoa and chickpeas. Since both do need to be cooked, you might be wondering how this dish can be ready in 5 minutes. And I am happy to share with you. My secret is meal prepping. Over the weekend, I cooked some basics to have ready to go to transform basic dish components into pure magic during the week, like this Mediterranean quinoa bowl. To cook the chickpeas, I leave them soaking overnight, and the next day I cook it with just water on the Instant Pot. Here you can use the canned chickpeas as well and just skip this step. And to cook the quinoa, I just follow the instructions on the package, but with a little twist. I saute half a chopped onion and 2 to 3 minced garlic cloves before adding the uncooked quinoa and water. It just brings a little extra flavor that I really love. But feel free to use whatever grain you might already have cooked. Keep it simple, make it work for you. Here are the Mediterranean Quinoa Salad ingredients and quantities that I used. 1.5 cups of cooked quinoa and chickpeas each. 2 cups of grape tomatoes. I cut mine each in 4, but it's definitely what you prefer. You can even leave it whole to save some time. Half a cucumber, 1/4 cup of black olives, a handful of fresh mint and basil, which I roughly chopped mine. Now for the dressing, I used juice of 1 lemon, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and to spice things up, about 1 teaspoon of each salt, garlic pepper, and smoked paprika. To make this recipe, it's really just adding everything to a bowl and mixing it. That easy. I started with the quinoa, followed by the chickpeas, then the tomatoes, cucumber, olives, and lastly, the mint and the basil. For the dressing, I juiced 1 lemon and mixed in the olive oil and spices. The spices are optional, of course. I went with salt, garlic powder, and my very favorite smoked paprika, but feel free to make it your own. Oregano would go very nicely here too. Give the dressing a stir and top your quinoa chickpeas with it. This next part is also optional. I topped my dish with fresh Parmesan cheese. If you want to keep this vegan, just swap out for a vegan option or leave it out altogether. I also added a few walnuts that I broke into pieces for an extra crunch. Enjoy this Mediterranean quinoa salad cold or even heat it up if you prefer. It makes for a really great take-to-work option. And being that it's so hot in the summer months, this dish is not only nourishing, but dare I say, quite refreshing. Before wrapping up this video, do you mind if I share a little food for thought? I've been a nutritionist for over 10 years now, and I can tell you that one of the main obstacles that most face when it comes to healthy eating is finding the time to dedicate to their nutrition, followed closely by feeling intimidated by the kitchen. Does this also sound like you? Let me know in the comments. It's easy to not see food as a priority. We tend to rush through our meals just to get back to work or to make it to our next appointment or whatever else is next on the agenda. But I just can't help but feel like we have our priorities a little bit twisted. I know, work is super important to be able to provide for ourselves. But when did nourishing our bodies become just an afterthought? Especially since our very existence depends on the nutrients we get from our meals. I want to invite you to start seeing cooking and your nutrition as important as any other meeting or appointment. Our bodies need to be properly fueled and loved to be able to do all the amazing things we want to accomplish in the day. So are you ready to enjoy a little self-care in the form of a delicious Mediterranean quinoa salad? If you like this video, it would mean the world if you tap the little like button below. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time!